Welcome to another episode of the Butler Did It podcast. I am, of course, your host, Adam Butler, back with another episode. And yes, I am very grateful to be here. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a dope show lined up for you guys today. My good friends from Loading Snacks is on the show today. Shout outs to Gage, shout outs to Sin. They joined me to talk about Black Panther. That's right, this guy right here. You know, ever since the passing of Chadwick Boseman, it's been up in the air in regards to what they're going to do with the new Black Panther film until a few days ago, Marvel announced that they will be starting production on Black Panther 2. Now, in our community, this movie meant a lot. In our community, I'm talking about the black community, Chadwick Boseman meant a lot. So if they're filming in June, are they recasting Chadwick Boseman? A lot of people have a problem with this. Who better to have on the show than the experts on all things pop culture, blerd culture, nerd culture, comic book culture, but the guys from Loading Snacks. They joined me today to talk about this. Are they going to recast Chadwick Boseman? Should they recast Chadwick Boseman? And if not, what route should they go? We get into it. I'm not going to waste much time. Let's talk about the one and only Black Panther with the boys from Loading Snacks. All right, gentlemen, welcome.
What up? What up?
Yo, so we were talking about COVID before the show, right? We're not going to spend time talking about COVID, but I do got to ask y'all, because I haven't seen you guys in person in a long time. I haven't really talked to you since, not a lot since this whole thing started. Gage, I'll start with you, man. How you doing? How's the family? How's everything holding up during this time?
Listen, man, I'm cooling. You know what I mean? Working every day, still out here in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I'm good. The family's good. You know what I mean? The kids are doing well in school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all that transition into doing everything online. You know, it's a little tough. My oldest still got to go to campus. You know what I mean? She got labs. There's no way not to. So she got to get tested like regularly because she got to go on campus. But other than that, man, it's everything's good, man. You know, as well as can be expected.
Sam was good, man. How's the family? How you doing?
Same thing. I'm doing pretty good. I'm staying inside because since I got asthma, I'm really not playing around with this COVID thing at all. But for the most part, family is good. I'm good. I'm still healthy. And man, like we said earlier, I'm just doing what I can, maneuver around this thing and stay as safe as possible. So people don't want to sit their ass down.
Sit in the house for 3 weeks. This is what we were saying this off camera. We're going to get right to the top. Sit in the house. Look, it's cold. This is a public service announcement. Anybody listen to the Butler Did It or Loaded Snacks, please. It's about to be cold outside. It's about to be hot cocoa weather. Sit in the house for 3 weeks. I promise you, 3 weeks. It'll go by before you know it. And this thing will shrink down and you'll be able to do something. I promise you. The doctor said, Dr. Fauci said, all right, I'm not going to waste more time with that. 3 weeks, man. Remember that. 3. God damn it.
There it is. 3.
Okay. That's the screenshot right there. 3 weeks. All right. Listen, I put you guys on for a reason, man. I admire you guys. I admire your show when it comes to all blerd and nerd culture. I love to get with you guys, man. The last time you was on my old show, and the last time I was on you guys' show, we were talking about Black Panther. It was a wonderful time, right? We were getting ready for Black Panther. We were so excited. We did like a pre-show and a post-show. We were just super geeked up. Since then, Black Panther has been a phenomenon. Obviously, the biggest Marvel movie besides, the Avengers, the Infinity Saga, but just like huge Marvel movie. And then, unfortunately, we have lost the great Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
Rest in peace, definitely to Chadwick Boseman. So
shout out. His birthday was yesterday. You know what I mean? So happy heavenly birthday.
Yeah, man. Would have been 44 years old, man. Gone way too soon. I mean, all that is, it's needless to say that the dude was a legend, and the character of Black Panther will never be the same, right?
No.
Now they have announced that they're going to be shooting this movie, Black Panther 2, in June, I believe, June or July. I'm a little fuzzy on the dates, but this summer, which is interesting to a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of debate online about whether they should recast T'Challa, make sure the new Black Panther. There's a lot of routes. We're going to talk about that right now, man. So I'm going to jump right into it. Do you think it's fair? And Sen, I'll start with you, bro. Do you think it's fair or a good thing to recast the Black Panther right now?
No. No, I think let T'Challa and let Chadwick Boseman rest in peace. He did what he did was phenomenal. It was monumental. It was amazing. Let's not recast him. Let's just go ahead and pass the man along to somebody else. Let's just let the character just die, quote unquote, like in the saga, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even give him like even during the movie, we can have like a ceremony for it. You know what I mean? Like a passing of him in it, and make it real big. Like bring the Avengers in it and the Guardians or whatever. Pay tribute to him. I think it'd be real nice.
Gage?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely talked about it, on the show. We could not, talk about it, and that was kind of where I was at. I just felt like, the idea of recasting the role feels, I don't know about fair, but I feel it feels disingenuous. And I think it would be, this isn't like swapping our Viv out. It's not like that. This isn't listen, which they did, you know what I'm saying, with War Machine. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they just
and the Hulk
the swap, Terrence Howard out. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like it hasn't been done.
Right.
But realistically, this character is so important and matters so much that I feel like it would be disingenuous to actually recast the character and have somebody else play someone who was supposed to be Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. So I think that from a story standpoint, it actually makes sense to just say, all right, he was already sick when he became the Black Panther, and they knew it. And they thought something like the fruit was going to keep him. And then Killmonger came through and destroyed all the fruit.
Yeah, and they couldn't revive him.
Something. You know what I mean? Something like that to just make it fit within the story. And then figure out how you're going to do passing it, whether it goes to Shuri, which could be a thing. It's been done in the comics before. Or you go to M'Baku.
Right.
Or, something like that. I think that it could be, they've already set precedence for the fact that it gets handed down in the family tree anyway. So we know that it doesn't have to be the same person being Black Panther, so to speak.
Right.
I think it makes sense to let that character have had that moment to shine. And pay tribute to not just what the character did in his own film, but what he meant in the grand scheme of things in the fight against Thanos and after the snap and all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Just kind of play it up, man. You know what I mean? I think that makes the most sense.
I hear that. And I hadn't thought too much about it. I was surprised to hear that they were going to be, filming so soon. Right. And then the natural question was, and it's been asked, well, does it mean Letitia Wright's character is going to, basically become the Black Panther? They've said no. Now, mind you, I don't think there's been an official word from Marvel yet or Kevin Feige, but these are all reports that they've said no, but she's going to have a more prominent role. I don't know what that means. They also have not announced that this is the new actor. This is the new Black Panther. They're just filming this. They're just saying we're filming and we're filming soon. Right.
Right.
That tells me that there's no new script. There's no new screenplay. It takes a while to write, to come up with a concept like you just came up with. It takes a while to write that in, put that in. That tells me they're working off an original screenplay. And I saw an interesting debate online over this, and a lot of people were making the points that you guys were making that, you know what, especially for us, and let's just be real, this movie hit Black culture in a way that,
hard.
And so the movie was already going to be missing something. Black Panther 2 was already going to feel different than Black Panther 1. It was never going to be able to match that energy, right? Now you take Chadwick Boseman out of it, and we know it's not just because he left, or it's not just because he's sick and he just couldn't do the movie. He's gone. He passed away, right? There is a massive hole to fill, and I don't envy any actor that chooses to take that on.
Correct.
However, the question does become, does the character of Black Panther, what the Black Panther meant and what the characters around Black Panther, did that mean more? And would you be actually honoring Chadwick Boseman by continuing the legacy of the character of T'Challa and what he meant and what Wakanda meant to people? Would you be honoring him by saying we're not going to just, this thing you worked hard on, that you worked hard to bring this character to life and make it probably the most popular Marvel character there is right now, especially amongst Black folks. Are we honoring him, or would they be honoring him by continuing the character, giving the mantle to somebody else?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, look, I think honoring Chadwick isn't about continuing the quote unquote legacy of T'Challa. I think that just like if it had happened in real life, that if you were honoring the memory of T'Challa or what he did, what he was striving to create, opening the doors of Wakanda, allowing their technology to feed and into the world, building science centers and things like that. I think you make sure that you pay tribute by knowing that those science centers that kids are learning in are named after him, that there is someone like his sister ensuring that his legacy isn't, that what they lost isn't for nothing. Right. And I think you can do that in film, in script, without having to say, what we really need to do is find somebody else who can also play this same character. I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
It's all about how you write the script.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't, to put somebody else in those shoes and tell them that they got to play that same character, I think would feel fake to us.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fair to his memory, and wouldn't be fair to the viewing audience as well at all.
Yeah.
So why? Sorry.
I would say the whole time you used to be sitting there like, no, it's just no, I'm not liking this. It feels wrong. It feels off. Right. Yeah.
So why are they doing this then? Like if the consensus, Marvel is usually smart, right? Sure. If the consensus is that we don't want this, and if anything, it's too early. They filming in 2021, summer 21. That means the movie's probably coming out summer 2022, right? Let's just make that assumption.
You know what? I'm gonna say
I don't think so.
2023.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. Yeah. The 2023, right? They filming summer 2021. Yeah, FX and everything. All right, 23.
Okay.
All right. Do you think people will feel the same in 2023? That maybe at that point people will say, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's been a while. It's a Heath Ledger. It's similar to the Heath Ledger situation where, at one point it was like, retire the Joker. The Joker's done. Okay, we're ready to see another Joker. Now, we've had 2 since Heath Ledger's passed, even though that's been 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I believe the first one didn't pop up until damn near 8 years after his death.
Yeah.
So that's different. Why do you think they're moving so soon? What reason do they have to make this film? You can always put the characters in other films now.
Good.
Why make a Black Panther film now?
It's on the
books. What? Yeah.
It's on the books. They have this storyline, laid out, for years to come to give us another big climactic ending like they did the first time around, and stuff has already been put in place.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason why they're going ahead so soon to start getting things together and start putting together, because they got a slate they got to, stick with contractually. So it just is what it is, unfortunately.
I think there's maybe a little more to it than that. I don't think you can look at this movie in a bubble. Right. And just think about Black Panther and Black Panther 2. You can't think of it as just this is the continuation of the first Black Panther movie, because it's not.
Yeah, it's a continuation of the Marvel storyline.
Right. This is a movie that is going to be taking, and look, it could be a prequel, it could be a sequel, it could be this could be a Black Panther film that's about his father when his father was, what I'm saying? Like Black Widow is a prequel. We don't know anything about what they're doing in this storyline.
Yeah, absolutely right.
So you can't really just look at it in a bubble and say, well, obviously it's the second movie, so it's got to be taking place after everything else that happened. You know what I'm saying? The last Spider-Man movie didn't. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, so they can do whatever they want with the timeline.
Yeah.
And when you have other films like Black Widow coming, Shang-Chi coming, they got another Guardians coming, they got
Doctor
all the
Strange,
stuff they're doing just in
the
TV.
Eternals.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're messing with timelines. We out in space.
Multiverses.
Right. You got the Loki show coming. You got the WandaVision show coming. So there's so many things that they can do right? That could affect how that storyline plays out.
Mm-hmm.
And so really trying to guess what they're doing based on what happened in the last movie almost don't even make sense.
That's true.
They almost have carte blanche to do whatever they want because they've set themselves up to almost act like nothing that happened before has happened. They could go in and completely erase all of it and act like it never happened. Killmonger could be alive, and they could bring Michael B. Jordan in and make him
the Black Panther.
And people would accept it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If they flip it and just be like, look, this didn't really happen. The timeline got flipped and erased or whatever. WandaVision happened, boom, boom, boom. And in this storyline, Killmonger was always there. He didn't get left out, whatever, and he's your Black Panther now.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised with that right there because he's smoking right now in Hollywood.
Yeah,
and you know they're gonna look for a box office draw. Yeah, so
that's almost smarter than finding an actor who I was going to ask you guys like who it could be. We can save that later, but trying to find an actor and that could be the caliber of Chadwick Boseman, right? Placing that actor in and saying you're the new T'Challa. Like there's a new Batman, there's a new James Bond, we got a new T'Challa, right?
Right.
That would be better than, and like you said, you could do anything you want with these movies, right? You could say it doesn't even have to be that complicated. You could just say the Batman came back to life somehow. We gave him a herb and he came back to life because Wakanda needed him, and now he's the new Black Panther. And yes,
he was a scroll the whole time.
Anything. It could be right.
Yeah,
it could be anything because I do personally believe that the Black Panther franchise is important enough to continue.
Yep.
That I do think the franchise is, when a person dies, especially the person that plays the Black Panther, especially an actor of the caliber of Chadwick Boseman passes away, you do feel like he's bigger than the film at this point, right? But at the time while he was alive, I do feel like the film was bigger than him. It was an ensemble. There were people that came out of it and said, I love Okoye. There were people that came out of it and said, I love Shuri. I love Killmonger, right?
Yeah.
It was
people who were literally like, they need to make Shuri a Disney princess. Do it.
Talked about that.
You know what I mean?
About that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there's reason to bring the film back. I was just kind of concerned because, again, what I know about film and set, pre-production and set design and character design, you don't turn that ship around in the 3 months or even what would it be, 6 more months it would take before they start principal photography. There's a lot to turn around, especially in the MCU where everything is already positioned, you know?
You know what though, Adam? I'm gonna tell you something, bro. The way that things are changing right now, the way the production and stuff is being handled.
Yeah.
If you look at the way they're filming like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was gonna say The Mandalorian. Yeah.
They shooting The Mandalorian using all LCD screens. You know what I mean? LED bulbs and
shooting in a bubble.
Video game Unreal Engine to make the backgrounds and all that kind of stuff, man. What it takes now to do that production, that pre-production, to change lighting, time of day, where you are. Like that, bruh, it isn't what it used to be. And considering that Marvel and Disney have said, we're taking the same budgets we use for the movies and we're putting them into the TV shows. Right. That tells you that they're working on things right now with the production of those shows that is teaching them how they're going to be able to cut costs and change production times and so forth going into these big films that are coming out.
Right.
A lot of which, for all of the things that COVID has done wrong for us, is teaching us how to do things in ways like this.
Yes.
A year ago, you would have hit me and been like, "Hey, come through the crib. We got to shoot da-da-da." But a year ago, Zoom still existed, and we could have done it just like this.
We didn't want right. We didn't think to do it like that. I'd have been at your house.
There's people working from home now that could have been working from home for years. No commute, true. Not wasting gas. Right, Sin? Like you working from home now.
And I've been telling that for years.
Every day.
Like it's,
exactly.
Hey, son, I got shorts on right now, bro.
My man. Man.
Usually I would, but I said, let me put some jeans for you.
I got on. Hey, look, hold on. I'll show you. Look, check them out.
Hey.
That's it.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's real. So everything's changing. And so, honestly, what we know about pre-production and writing and having to have staff and people come together, all that's changing. People in Microsoft Teams shooting their notes to each other. Here's what it is. You can edit this. I can do whatever. Yeah. It isn't what it used to be.
Right.
And you can turn a story around real quick. And they've had, I feel like, to do some of that, right? Because they've had to make some U-turns or some V-turns or some quick pans when things weren't working out the way they wanted them to time-wise, right? So COVID has pushed everything back.
Yeah. Yep. This will be the first year, I think, since like 2011, there's been no Marvel movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is crazy. And realistically, they could have put something out.
Yeah.
They could have. I mean, Wonder Woman's still coming out.
Black Widow could have dropped on Disney Plus. They could have did that.
It should have dropped on Disney.
Yeah.
That's another conversation, but I actually agree with you. I don't know why they did.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I agree. No, I hear you, bro. I do want to throw one more thing out there that we could, okay. They've known that Chadwick was sick. So there were rumors, right? And I hate to play around with rumors. I want to be very respectful to Chadwick Boseman, right? Because that's the whole reason we're having this conversation, because I think we all agree. I kind of feel like they will recast him, but I wouldn't bet on that. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not. If someone asked me to bet on that, I wouldn't have bet on. I just have a feeling that they're probably gonna be a new Black Panther, right? But I think we all agree that at the very least it feels too early. At the very least, it feels way too early to announce a new T'Challa, right? Okay. But there were rumors back around All-Star Weekend. Chadwick was looking he was at All-Star Weekend, remember? He didn't look well. And there were rumors that came out that said they were thinking about recasting Chadwick Boseman. And they were on the weirdest of websites. Okay. They weren't, nobody paid him much attention. And Marvel certainly never stamped this, right? But do you think, because now we found out that Chadwick Boseman was very, very sick. In fact, he's a soldier for being able to do any of the work that he did. The fact that there's a new movie featuring him coming out on Netflix next week, okay, says a lot about the man's work ethic and how just powerful he was as a person. But I think that maybe Marvel, do you think there was a possibility that Marvel maybe noticed that, you know what, we may not have, not that he was going to pass away, but that we may not be able to have Chadwick in this role as an action hero and the grueling, we want him in 4 or 5 movies. He's a Black Panther. What if the wheels were already in motion to recast the Black? Do you think that was a possibility? Yeah.
I think that one of the things that probably the thing that stood out to me the most after Chadwick's passing was the sheer number of people who had no idea he was sick.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like people who worked with him every day, cast members, whatever. Like I really have to give super kudos to like his family and his circle, because they kept it tight. Right. His doctors, for all we know, they really just worked into like his contracts. Like, he can only work on these days, and he has to have a trailer of his own with, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
And it's possible that, somebody in his management team told Feige or somebody, hey, listen, he's sick. We fighting it. He looks good right now. You know what I mean? You've seen what he can do, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But of course, there's a possibility. And I think you do have to consider that. I think to some extent, no matter who you cast, when you cast anybody and sign them to a contract for multiple films, you have to look at the possibility that something happens to them.
Exactly.
Even in this world, even if it's not about they died or whatever, but with all of the things that are happening, like with the Me Too movement, and people just like, oh yeah, we can't even touch you anymore, Slim. You gotta go. Yeah. Right? You have to. We found
these tweets from '99.
I mean, look,
we gotta resurface and get you out of here.
What's the director of Guardians? His name slips my mind.
James Gunn.
James Gunn was in. He was under the massive heat for a while until his cast stood up for him, and he got, but and then you look at Ed Norton was the original Hawk, right? But again, none of this compares to, it's hard to find a comparison. The closest one I could honestly think of was Heath Ledger. And again, that was a 10-year span before we got Joker. And I think maybe an 8-year, maybe 7-year span before we got Jared Leto's Joker, right? So it waited before they recasted a Joker, right? That's the only thing I can think that's close to the Chadwick Boseman situation. Is really not the same either, because the cultural impact of this man playing this character is not like the Joker was amazing. Heath Ledger's Joker was a clinic on acting.
Sure.
Chad Boseman playing the Black Panther was not only a clinic on acting, it was also so inspirational and so moving to so many, not just Black people across the world.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, here's the thing. The cultural impact that Black Panther had, I think, paved an opportunity for a character like Miles Morales, who I think right now is in that role. And I do think it's too soon, and they should not, and I don't think they will cast a new T'Challa. I do think there will be another Black Panther. Now, whether or not and what role Black Panther as a character plays in the grand scheme of things going forward,
right?
That's a little different, because what I've been guessing at for the cinematic universe going forward didn't really involve Black Panther. It involved a bunch of new characters that they've been kind of secretly introducing in, like Cassie Lang. And it looked like they were kind of going towards a Young Avengers thing, which really don't have nothing to do with Black Panther.
That's right.
However, if you were to cast Shuri in Black Panther, her being the little sister, the younger one or whatever, it actually kind of fits the mold
of the Young Avengers.
Going with the young Iron Man and Hulkling and, you know what I'm saying, Cassie, it kind of fits that. So it's a possibility they could have been leaning in that direction anyway.
That's an excellent point, right? That's an excellent point, because we talk about reason why I brought up them maybe thinking Chad's time may be coming, not him passing away, but, you know, because I don't think anybody saw that coming, but him being a little too sick to do this role. So let's shrink the role down, you know, let's make the Black Panther a little less. We did our Wakanda thing. Remember, this time last year, they were I think it was at Comic-Con, or was it when they announced all the Marvel stuff? I don't remember.
Right. Yeah.
And they announced all the Marvel slate. They didn't have a date for Black Panther 2 at all. You know, so they were probably thinking that way anyway. And then you got to remember, they got all the Fox characters, you know, you talking about big time characters, you know, some of my favorites, X-Men, Fantastic Four. You got a lot of stuff to work with. You're absolutely right. They probably were thinking, you know what, maybe instead of recasting the man, because I think that would have been tough even if he were still alive.
Right.
But unless he would have just given it his blessing and been like, look, this guy has to do it. I'm cool with it. People still would have had a problem. Now that he's but now that he's gone, I don't put it past any big corporation to go with the money, even one like Marvel, who seems to be the evil of corporations, right? Even though it's Disney, and Disney is what it is.
Yeah,
but
they got
Disney don't evil, but Marvel, Marvel seems to be a bit more compassionate. Kevin Feige seems to be a thinker, and that's why I was super shocked to find out that they're already casting villains, and they're filming this summer. Yeah, I do think there's a possibility that the mantle passes on. Maybe they do some stuff where, I don't know, maybe they go a Carrie Fisher route, and they have some old footage of Chadwick, and then they find a way to kind of like.
I just don't want them to CG him. That'll make me upset.
And they said they weren't doing it.
They said
they weren't doing it. They said they weren't CGing them. You know, that would be you know, it's a complicated thing, and I don't envy anybody that's involved in this process. You know, I just don't. I wouldn't want to be the one to have to put together Black Panther 2 right now.
I mean, but it's like we say, B, and Feige we trust. So I'm you know, keep my fingers crossed and just you know, praying to handle it with the best of care and do right by him and do right by the viewing audience as well. And you know what we would kind of like to see, and you know, do it properly and give him a good send off.
If nothing else, Disney knows as a corporation, man, if they don't do it right, they're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Or they're gonna hear it.
Oh yes.
They don't, and of all the folks they don't want to hear it from is us. Like they don't want to hear it from us.
They don't want Black Twitter getting on them.
And I think they, you know, they tried it for a brief moment. Luke Cage was the thing. A brief moment. You know what I mean? You got Black Panther and what they've done with Miles and him having his own game right now. And there's a lot that's brewing in that direction. Technically making Mary Jane, being MJ and her name not being Mary Jane, but making her Zendaya. You know, they're pushing some envelope.
The Miss Marvel series.
Exactly. I think that they are I do, like you said, in Feige we trust, but I think as a whole, like we can trust that they're going to try to do it as best they can and make it. I think when that movie starts, man, I think you're gonna be in tears within the first 15 minutes.
Oh, easily,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking about the B-roll with the Marvel name showing up. It's gonna be a problem.
And you saw they redid the opening like for his birthday. So they'll probably put that one right before it and everything. Like,
it's tough to watch Black Panther 1 right now, you know. So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, and I really do hope that they are thinking about the impact this film had on a particular group of people. You know, I know it had a worldwide appeal, and I know all sorts of people love Chadwick Boseman, white, black, Asian, whatever. Everyone loved Chadwick Boseman. Everyone loved the Black Panther. But what that thing did, like you said, Gage, for this community, right? You can't be shrewd with this one. You can't really treat it like Batman or James Bond. You can't, you know. And if you're going to do that, you should consider pushing the movie back. Time does heal wounds, and maybe there will be a time where people will say, you know what? What's the boy to play? But Dr. Manhattan, y'all could be the new Black Panther, right? Maybe,
right?
You know, or whoever, right? Some actor we don't even know, right?
Yeah.
It's so much you have to be able to do just from the acting standpoint. You got to get the accent right. You got to do a lot of things, but beyond just the acting, just the memory of the man. The respect for the man that they all seem to have, and the high regard for them. I mean, on high levels of respect for this man and love for this man. You can't mess this up.
No.
Can't afford to.
Mess this up.
No.
Can't afford to.
Yeah.
You're right.
Can't do it.
They're not the shoes to be in.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what they're gonna do. Brothers, I appreciate y'all, man. I really love talking about this stuff with y'all, man. This is dope. Tell them where they can find the show, man.
Hey, man, you can find us on all socials at Loading Snacks. We do a show every Tuesday. We have a weekly show, and every Thursday we do our video game show Cutscenes. We got a Patreon that they can sign up for too, getting as low as $1. So do us a favor, help us out there. We really appreciate it. Yeah, but all socials you can find us at Loading Snacks. We're everywhere. Wherever the people are,
that's where we're going to be. TikTok now, man. It's out of control.
Word. I have not gotten it, bro. I've not gotten into the TikTok thing yet. I've been wanting to. Matter of fact, my niece is coming over this weekend. I'm gonna try and get her to walk me through TikTok because
we'll talk.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's
do that. Look, y'all, I wasn't on this play. I wasn't on YouTube. Remember, I was straight podcast. Like I've been watching y'all, bro. I'm like, you know what? Let me get into this YouTube thing and see where I can what kind of gold I can mine from that.
There's some moves to be made, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, we everywhere, man.
Yeah,
all the time.
And y'all do it big, and it's a dope, excellent show, man. Again, I love talking to y'all. Thank you so much, man. Y'all stay safe. Gage, you stay safe, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Streets.
Hey, we'll be safe. 3 weeks.
3 weeks, man.
3 weeks. Do that. Okay.
3 weeks.
Shut it down for 3 weeks. Enjoy. Hey, watch Loaded Snacks for 3 weeks.
Hey,
watch Butler did it for 3 weeks.
There you go.
And you'll be all right.
Back.
Sounds
Appreciate
good
y'all, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Deuces.
So really quickly, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I realized that I didn't have an opportunity to talk about Chadwick Boseman, man. When Chadwick passed away, I was actually on a break from the show. I was getting ready to get married, and I thought about doing like a kind of bonus episode about that, but I took the advice of my loved ones and my friends, and I took some time off because this one hit me hard. This one hit me hard, as it hit many of you hard. Again, as we talked about in the last segment, the Black Panther meant so much to our community, and I don't want to just, I don't want to disrespect this man's legacy by only talking about him as the Black Panther. I mean, he's done so much. I mean, he's played icons in our community, man. He's played Jackie Robinson, James Brown. I mean, Thurgood Marshall. It goes on and on and on. He's just been dope. Look, man, I can name 1,000 movies that I've liked with Chadwick Boseman in them. Okay, but it would be silly to say that the Black Panther was not his biggest and greatest role. And that's not disrespect. Not in my opinion, at least. This was iconic. He took a character, and trust me, I'm a comic book guy. The Black Panther was not that popular, okay? And it kind of, you know, the character kind of got some gas behind him in the 2000s with the animated series, and the comic book made a little bit of a comeback. But Chadwick Boseman made the Black Panther into what we see today, into the character that is iconic for black culture, comic book culture, American culture. Only Chadwick Boseman could have done that. Only Chadwick could have done that, man. It also means a lot in terms of black men's health. You know, we talked about it, Gage, Sin, and I. We talked about it in the last segment that we didn't even know this man was sick. Yes, he was a warrior. Yes, he was. My God, to put in that much work while having that stage of cancer, to be that sick, is incredible. But it also is a lesson for us black men in there, man. We have to take care of our health. We have to stay on top of our health, man. We just do. Look, if we don't learn from the Black Panther, from Chadwick Boseman, a titan, that it can happen to any of us and that we need to be serious about it, then you'll never learn. So take care of yourself, black man. All right. I always talk about take care of your mental health. Take care of your physical health as well, man. All right. Trust me. We all want this man. We all wanted this man to still be here. We know countless brothers that have gone out a little too early because they weren't taking care of themselves. I'm not saying that Chadwick Boseman wasn't taking care of himself. Okay. At the end of the day, it's God's will. But there's a lesson there. All right. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Second thing I wanted to talk about was the fight that happened this past weekend. Okay. I don't know how many of you paid for the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight. I did not. Shout out to Dean. Dean had it at my neighbor Dean. You know, he had it in the garage. We went over there and we watched it. We checked it out, man. And, you know, the fight itself wasn't good. Okay? Let's just be honest. It was funny watching Nate Robinson get knocked out about 4 times by Jake Paul. Hey, man. I'll leave that be. I'm not going to clown. I'm not going to clown Nate Robinson. I'm just going to say, you know, boxing isn't for everyone, my guy. Okay, maybe this is not for you, but I want to focus on Tyson and Roy Jones, right? Because it was a boring fight, and I was upset initially, right? When the bell rang, I remember thinking, like, damn, like, you know, maybe I fooled myself, man. Mike Tyson's a 50-something-year-old man. Roy Jones is a 50-something-year-old man. Why did I think this was going to be an entertaining fight? Why did I come into this expecting to see Mike Tyson, you know, look like the 20-something-year-old Iron Mike and knock a dude out, knock out Roy, or see Roy bouncing around the ring like a 20-something-year-old Roy Jones in his prime back in 2001, 2002. Why did I believe that? And I was foolish for believing that. But the thing that really stuck out to me, the thing that made me happy, was the look on Mike Tyson's face after the fight and how happy he was after the fight. Think about this, man. This is one of the more tortured figures in American and pop culture. The last time we saw Mike Tyson in the ring, he quit on his stool. Some of the last images of Mike Tyson as a fighter is him talking about how he broke his back, right? Or getting knocked out, knocked down by dudes that were just not even the caliber of fighter that he ever was. One of the last images we had before Mike Tyson reinvented himself was him on Real Sports talking about his drug addiction and talking about his battle with just mental health and anger. Mike Tyson is the very definition of practicing good mental health. Every black man, every black person, every person should look at Mike Tyson and go, wow, that's growth. All that man knew was fighting at one point. That's all he knew. All that man knew was violence. This is a guy who hosts a podcast. You should check out Mike Tyson's podcast, who is about as transparent as any human I've ever seen ever. So to see him do something that he was born to do, something he loves to do, even if it wasn't a good fight, come out of it smiling, joking, and saying, hey, I want to do this again. How could you not be happy about that? That's what we all wish for, to do what you love and just have fun with it. No stress. Not have the thing that you love be a burden to you, which it was for him. Boxing was a burden for Mike Tyson. He was not happy in that ring. I'm not making this up. Watch any interview or any article or read any article about Mike Tyson and it'll tell you. His demons were in that ring. So the fight sucked, yes. It was two 50-year-old men trying to box. Roy Jones all flabby. Mike looking older. It was funny. There was no action. The fight was what it was. Would I pay for another Mike Tyson fight? Probably not. But do I want him to fight again? Yeah, if that makes him happy. Absolutely. I want people to have joy. And when you see a tragic figure like Mike Tyson, man has been through so much in the public eye. We've watched this man have ups and downs, all through his career. When you see him bounce back like this, you got to be encouraged. You just have to be. I don't know how you couldn't be. You don't have a soul if you aren't. He's done a lot of bad things in his life. He admits it. But that's a man that's growing, and it shows you even when you're 50-something years old, you're still growing. So the fight sucked, but the feeling that he had after the fight, priceless. Priceless. We all should strive to want that, man. Shouts to Mike Tyson. Hey, shouts to Roy Jones, too. He seemed pretty good after the fight as well, man. Look, I don't want to see these brothers get hurt, but I want to see them be happy. And if they're happy, I'm with it. I'm with anybody that's doing the things that they love and practicing good mental health. All right, so we'll leave it there. All right, appreciate y'all. Follow me on TikTok. Yeah, how about that? Your boy's on TikTok now, right? The Butler Did It podcast is my name on TikTok. It's the Butler Did It podcast. It's going to be a lot of extra content on there. I'm getting used to TikTok. I kind of like TikTok, so hey, follow me on there. Check me out. Follow me on all socials. You know what to do. The links are always below. Please mind your mental health. Please take care of yourself. Take care of your physical health, black man. Do that. Take care of your physical health, man. There's a lot going on here, and it's not just COVID. We got to stay on top of it. We got families to take care of, and we got people that love us. So let's stay on top of our mental health, stay on top of our physical health. Let's mind our mentals, our chickens, and let's continue to always be great. I'm out of here, people. Love y'all.